So ever since Donald Trump has gotten into office, he has unleashed an absolute assault upon climate change agencies and regulations. Basically, anybody and anything who is attempting to do something to save our planet from immediate and utter destruction. Donald Trump has unleashed an assault upon all those efforts. And it's truly a disgrace. And I'm going to get into more of that later. But the first thing I wanted to do in this video was discuss exactly what Trump has done specifically, all the actions, at least the major actions that he's done to try and undercut climate change regulation. And then in later parts of the video, what I'm going to try to do is explain why. Why would you be motivated to destroy our planet? I'm going to explain some of the industry connections, and I'm going to explain the true motivations behind those actions. So, one of Trump's first actions as president was to pull us out of the global climate change accords signed in 2015 in Paris. That was an extremely controversial move. It was something that all of the global community mocked, derided, and criticized. And most of the people here as well said that is a ridiculous and BS move. Why would you try to move closer to destroying our planet? Then another major action that Trump undertook in his first year as president was the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. This had a variety of consequences across the U.S. economy, but especially in terms of the oil industry, they received $1.5 billion in combined new tax benefits. Why would you try to ensure the continued survival of an industry that is destroying our planet? Who freaking knows? I'll explain more of that later. Then, the Trump administration in recent months has called for the rolling back of Obama's fuel efficiency standards. These are standards that are trying to save fuel, trying to cut back consumption of oil in our cars and trucks and planes and all automobiles. And instead, what Trump is trying to do is roll those back. And this is just a cheap trick to make sure that the oil companies continue to produce more oil and make more money. So if these standards are finally put into place, there will be 182 million additional barrels of oil consumed in the United States per year. And that's going to amount to 220 billion additional dollars for the oil industry every single year. So you can clearly see why he's so interested in making sure that our cars have less fuel efficiency and burn more oil, because it's going to line the pockets of the fat cats. And then, this is one that really, really surprised me. Trump is now attempting to basically cut all of the science and the research that is backing up the climate change reality at its source. So all the science that is saying, yes, climate change is a man-made and devastating crisis that will have absolutely cataclysmic consequences in moving forward in our history. All of that science Trump is now trying to attack and get rid of. And obviously, since he's the president of the United States, he has direct control over some of the information that gets put out by the U.S. government agencies. So in some of these research agencies now, Trump has banned worst case scenario projections. So where usually an agency would be like, if we don't do this and this and this will be the worst case scenario. Trump has banned those projections, basically trying to present a more rosy picture of the reality and cut back on the narrative that climate change is real and a man-made crisis that we need to immediately act on. And another thing that they've tried to do is they've limited climate models to only the year 2040, so 20 years in advance, rather than what they usually do, which is at the end of the century in 2100. Again, just trying to present a rosier picture and just trying to destroy the narrative that climate change is real and a man-made crisis. So, again, all of these actions, it's just Trump trying so desperately to make the oil industry money. That's always what it is. That's always what it is. And I think this is an extremely important lesson that people sometimes seem to forget in discussing politics, that everything's related to money. Everything's related to money. Money in politics is the linking issue to almost everything in politics, because it's what makes the world go round, especially in the United States. And I think that's something that you can never forget. So when people are like, why would you do something like that? Why would Trump decide to cut back on fuel efficiency standards? Why would Trump decide to pull out of the Paris Climate Change Accords? Why would Trump decide to give billions of dollars in tax breaks to the major industries of our country? Why? Because it's all about the money. So let's talk about that money. In the 2016 election cycle, the Republicans received $55 million from the oil and gas industry. And you wonder why they are the party which routinely denies the existence of climate change. And also inside of the Trump administration, there's direct linkage to the oil and gas industry. These are literally oil executives coming into the Trump administration and producing our climate change policy. So, the deputy secretary of the Interior, David Bernhardt, he is a former fossil fuel lobbyist, and our top air quality official, the person responsible for actually deciding this air sucks. This air has too much carbon in it. Maybe we should do something about it. The person responsible for deciding that, he's a former lawyer for the American Petroleum Institute. I just think it's hilarious. Like, they don't care at this point. That's the thing. They don't care. The corruption is literally so brazen that they will literally, our top air quality official is a former lawyer for the American Petroleum Institute. Like, I don't understand if you're listening to this and you're not pissed. If you don't see the brazen corruption, like, they think you're stupid. They think in the era of social media, in the era of internet usage, in the era of all of this technology, that you don't have the brains to go online and find this shit. They think you're that stupid. They think they can get by with this shit. Just keep going with this brazen corruption. Literally, our top air quality official is a former lawyer for the American Petroleum Institute. Come on, dog. Come on, dog. Like, what is this? What is this? Like, what are we doing? It's crazy. It's crazy. And then what's funny to me is when the younger generations are like, we're fucked. Like, yo, like we're fucked. And then older generations, you know, like Joe Biden the other day. Yo, these millenniums, you know what I'm saying? They have nothing to worry about. They complain too much. I don't feel sorry for millennials. What? You and your corporate class create this mess that now we have to fix. So, again, I'll just go over one more time if you don't know the potential consequences of climate change. What you're looking at is rising sea levels. You're looking at entire cities, neighborhoods, and regions being swallowed by a rising sea. What you're looking at is rising temperatures, also related to the rising sea levels. You're looking at an increase of, the latest projections say, up to 8 to 10 degrees Fahrenheit increase in temperature by the end of the century. You're looking at an increase in drought. Looking at potential super droughts by the middle of this century. Devastating consequences, of course, of that, because then that's going to relate to food shortages, going to lead to mass famine, going to lead to water crises, going to lead to then potential violence and destruction in more politically unstable regions of the world. You're looking at a potential destruction of many areas of civilization due to climate change. Human civilization was not meant to be in a hotter, in a warmer, in a more humid, in a more volatile, in a more destructive climate. That's not how we were genetically raised, and that's not how we are meant to survive. So obviously, if we continue to allow the temperature to increase, if we continue to allow our climate to be destroyed, we might be destroyed along with it. But people don't care. People don't see that. The scientists have been screaming this at us for 50, 60, 70 plus years. And yet, they don't care. They don't care. All they care about is the money. That's all they care about. That's all they ever will care about, the money. So, if you're listening to this and you have any doubt in your mind that climate change exists, what I want you to do is do yourself a favor. I want you to stop letting them fool you. Stop letting them pretend that you're that stupid, because you're not. There's no way you're that stupid. You know this exists. They wouldn't teach it across our school systems. They wouldn't be screaming at the top of their lungs if it didn't exist. It exists. This is real. This is coming. And some models even say that it's irreversible at this point. There's nothing we can do about it. But I'm an optimist, so I hope that's not true. And I hope for the sake of our planet and the continuation of human society that that's not true. And I hope you feel the same way as well. It's been a good video, y'all. Again, trying to pump out more content. I'm back on summer break, so it should be fun. And until next time, and fuck climate change.